and welcome to TP's Diary. Happy New Year to you all. It's a bit of a belated Happy New Year, I know, it's a few weeks late, but I do these videos well in advance, so I got my dates mixed up, so sorry about that. But anyway, this week's video I wanted to do on the XK150, and basically I wanted to show you all in a bit more detail all the bits and pieces that I've done to this car since I've owned it. And then, yeah, I mean, they're all done now, all the jobs, even the little jobs. I did video the realignment of the bonnet, and I was sort of, I think I alluded to the fact that I was going to put a video out, but even I was bored at that. I mean, literally, it was just undoing a few bolts, moving it around, putting it back, undoing, and you know, and it didn't make sort of very good viewing. So I've canned that video. But I want to do a road test, which will be a separate video to this one. And also, I will do a video on the auction, which will come out the week after the auction, and hopefully the car's sold. So, but in light of the road test, I want to road test this one. I also want to road test this one, the XJC, before I remove the gearbox. However, the weather, yeah, it's a bit cold and it's a bit of snow outside, and we got salt all over the road, and I don't want to get either of these covered in salt, so we'll just have to play it by ear. We've got a bit of time before the end of February, so hopefully I will get those done. So there's going to be a bit of chopping and changing between the cars and the videos over the next few weeks, but so bear with me on that. So I think we'll start under the bonnet on this one, and then from there I'll start looking at the front end and the back end and the other bits and pieces. So let's get the bonnet up, and I can show you what I've been up to. Okay, so right, what have I been up to under here? Yeah, there's a bit. So firstly, I've changed the radiator. The old radiator had sort of seen better days, so I thought I'd put a new radiator in it. And when I was looking around, I found this aluminium radiator, and the company who made it basically says it's got 40% more cooling capacity than a standard radiator. And I suppose they've achieved that by the fact that it's aluminium, and also it's a bit fatter. It was like about 10 millimeters deeper than the standard one, which did cause me a few problems with with fitting it, because obviously none of the bracketry that held the original one in would work with this one. So I had to make up some brackets and other bits and pieces, but I got it in and it all seems to be working fine. And on the back of it, there's an electric fan, which you can't see, but it's a fan. It's pretty, it's not very interesting, I suppose. But yeah, it's got quite a big electric fan on it, which is driven through this thermostat here, which is in the pipe. And that all works really well. So yeah, the needle now is absolutely, dead in the middle. It never moves. So that's really good. I've also put this catchment tank in. You don't really need to do that. I did it. It's a bit of a nice to have, basically. So I put it in. It just meant that when you fill up the radiator with coolant, and the engine's hot, you've taken it for a ride and drive, and the engine's hot, and you stop the car, it was throwing a bit of the coolant out through the overflow pipe, this pipe here. So I put this catchment tank in there, and just to stop that happening. And now what it does is it throws it into there. There's a pipe inside here that sits below the level of coolant. So when the coolant expands in the radiator, comes out through the overflow here into the catchment tank, and when it cools down, the liquid obviously contracts and sucks it back into the radiator. So it's quite a nice thing to have, but it's not essential. But to fit that, I had to move the washer bottle, which is quite a nice glass bottle on on this car. It's operated via the vacuum. And also, which you can't see, but just here is the overdrive relay. When I got this car, the overdrive wasn't working, so I had to sort of adjust that, and it required a new relay. So I'd moved that anyway, so that was sort of sitting there. So yeah, so this is all non-standard, this size, but this side of the engine bay. But I think it looks quite good. I mean, you know, so I was quite happy with how all that went together. Still on the water side, the heater matrix, which is in here, all of the pipes leading up to it, I've changed for stainless steel, and all of the rubber hoses are all new as well, with new marine grade stainless steel Jubilee clips, because, you know, if you ever tried to clean a Jubilee clip, they look a bit tricky to clean. Anyway, so those pipes all run down there, and they go down this side of the engine underneath the intake manifold, so a bit tricky to show. So I've changed all of those. There's also one peculiar pipe right at the bottom of the radiator. It goes out from underneath. I think I'll get the car up and I will show you that. But yeah, so it comes out from the water pump, and it runs underneath the bottom cross member of the car and then up into the radiator. And that pipe was looking a bit worse for wear. So I did actually change that and put a stainless steel pipe there, so that shouldn't happen again. Other things like you can't see again. I mean, I will probably get the camera and to give a bit of a once round, but the alternator, it's got a new alternator in it. Obviously, it's had a conversion to an alternator prior to when I got it, so I believe it would have had a dynamo. I think originally. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe you can put some comments in the video below and let me know if that's the case or not. But anyway, so I changed the alternator because when I did the LED light conversion on this car, I changed all the bulbs in the dashboard as well. And I don't know, I just didn't think about it. In the back of the alternator, there's a relay, there's a charge relay. And that charge relay relies on the resistance of the ignition warning light, believe it or not, bulb. And because I put a low resistance bulb in there, it wasn't activating the relay. So I put the old style bulb back in, and now it's charging absolutely fine. And the way I sort of noticed was actually, if you're driving down the road, it wasn't charging, but if you then sort of gave it some revs, it will then kick in and charge, and then suddenly drop out again. And anyway, so that's why I thought, oh, maybe the alternator's on the blink. So anyway, it's got a new alternator in it. Other things, obviously, it's had a full service. You know, with this oil filter change, new oil, obviously new coolant. I had 6 new plugs in there, but at the same time, I put on new HD leads and put in the old sort of HD lead carrier as well, and some sort of, you know, nice, just tidied it all up really. And that's all attached to a 123 electronic ignition, which is quite a nice unit actually. It's basically just a you just change the distributor out. It looks fairly standard. So for me, that was a bit of a no-brainer to go from traditional style ignition points type system to electronic. So I've got that, and then it's attached to the coil, a brand new coil, Lucas Classic coil. And so yes, and I'll come around to the other side now. So, okay, so the other thing is that the intake side, this required a fair amount of work. It had a terrible sticking throttle and an imbalance in the carburetors. So I've spent quite a lot of time getting the carbs so they're actually balanced. but also I've had to go through all the linkage in the whole system and change out the ball joints, so the linkage is actually nice and smooth. So because what was happening is you're driving down the road, and then suddenly the car would stay at 1500 RPM, or or you'd put your foot down, nothing, and then suddenly everything, and that you're just going to break something, engine mounts, all sorts of things. So I needed to fix that. It's got a bit of a weird sort of system, which I really didn't like, where basically the carburetors have got the butterfly valves on a shaft, which are obviously sprung shut, that connect to this lever here, which is connected to this rod here, which obviously goes through various links to the throttle pedal. And where it was sort of retained in the bracket on the bulkhead, I wasn't very happy with how that all went together. So I actually took that out, and I just machined up myself a little brass bronze sort of bush mounting with an oil way in it as well. So, and of course that's made a world of difference. So now the throttle response is really nice and silky smooth. Because the carbs are all balanced properly, it delivers power beautifully. So that, I think that was the single best, let's say, it's not really an improvement or gain, but it's just the single best sort of job that I did on the car. I suppose the most satisfying job I did on the car was getting all of this bit right. It made such a difference to how the car drove and handled. And so yes, so anyway, I can't think of anything else now under here that I need to show you. So so I think maybe let's get the car up in the air, and I can show you what I've done under there. Okay, so while I've got you here, I thought, well, I'll just take the opportunity. I can show you from underneath, but also I'll show you from up this side as well. Well, I'll just take the wheel off, and you can have a look from this side. If you again, if you've been following the channel, you would have seen that I've done all the ball joints on this car. That was quite an early video, so hopefully you've seen it and hopefully you enjoyed it. So, and if you did, again, I'd love to hear any comments that you may have on that. So I'm going to take the wheel off now. I haven't cleaned this car yet, so it's a bit grubby. So I'm just going to get the wheel off, and then hopefully I can show you what's been going on in here. There was a fair amount of work that went on the front end of this car, and it was the classic age-old thing where I set about to change the front wheel bearings, and one thing led to another, and it ended up being a complete front end rebuild with new uprights and everything, and new alignment. Which was quite tricky. New stub axles, new uprights, new bearings, I mean, it just went on and on. So, but again, now it means the car, when it goes down the road, it's nice and straight. It's very precise with the steering. The electric steering combined with this, obviously now all the geometry is correct. It just makes it a real pleasure to drive. Also, some of you may have noticed this little device here. So behind here, I won't take that cover. No, I won't take that cover off. This is for the CTEC charger for the battery, just to keep the battery in good tip-top condition. Like I said, I had to go for new wheel bearings, which meant then when I actually got the hub off the stub axle, which is just here, I I noticed there was a significant amount of wear on the stub axle, so that meant that they had to have new stub axles, which wasn't the end of the world, because you can just undo that big nut just there. I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, you can undo that big nut just there, and then press them out. So I didn't actually have a press for that, so I took them up the road to Twyford Moor, and they did it for me. Anyway, it's got this weird sort of like arrangement just in here. This is the bottom ball joint. Now, what you have in there is you have a ball that's connected into this arm, and inside here the bottom is sitting in a cup, which is replaceable, which is sacrificial, so you can change that. That's no problem at all. However, the top half of the ball is actually cast into the upright, and under normal circumstances, at the minute, obviously, this has got torsion bar suspension on it. So what it's doing is actually the torsion bar is actually driving that down. So there's going to be pressure on the top of that ball, just only at the moment because the wheel's off and it's not sitting on the ground. Anyway, that ball then sits into the cup, which you can replace. But the uprights, the top half of it was actually worn. It looked like it'd been running in sandpaper. So I had to replace the entire upright. And then in doing that, the new stub axles that I'd fitted or bought, they didn't quite work, so I had to get some new ones of those. Anyway, so you get the idea. So basically, I ended up doing anti-roll bar bushes all around the bottom cup here, and new ball joints, new upright, new stub axle, new top ball joint, new drag links for the steering rack, new wheel bearings. It then, because all the setup was changed, had to have a new brake caliper mounting bracket, because I couldn't get the caliper to be centralised in the on the brake disc. So yeah, there ended up being quite a lot of work involved just in this little area here. Obviously I've done the same on the other side, and yeah, so the whole front end now is complete, and the geometry is all right, all perfect. I couldn't do the geometry here, so I had Twyford Moor do that for me, and I think they did a brilliant job, because the car now just drives, like I said, perfectly straight and really precise. So yes, I'll just now grab the camera and we'll go and have a look at what else has been happening. There's the doorbell, so I have to go anyway. So. Okay, so the other bits that I've done is it has had, although it looks pretty grubby now, it did have a new clutch master cylinder in it. That's all been done. The overdrive here, that's all been sorted out, and that's all working perfectly. And then obviously going back, you obviously saw from the last video the spring modification. It also had a fuel leak, which I've managed to sort out, and I've also changed the diff oil. So that's pretty much it from underneath here. You know, it's all, you know, it's still an old car, but it's in really lovely condition. So in here you've got, that is the electric steering control, obviously the overdrive. The only thing I've done in here is I've changed all the, can you see, all of the headlights to LEDs, and I've had the speedo rebuilt. It basically stopped working pretty soon after soon after I got the car. So it does have these XJS seats. I have actually got the original seats for it, but these are very, very comfy, and I've turned the gear lever around only mainly because I'm 6'4", and yeah, I'm 6'4", and I fit in this car absolutely perfectly. Not that I've changed it to suit me. So you know, these seats all go forward, and they go, you know, the backrests all go up and down, all absolutely fine. So so yeah, it's a very lovely place to be sitting. The one thing I can't obviously put on video is just the smell. The smell of this car is just out of this world. So yeah. Anyway, I suppose that is pretty much it for all of the small jobs and improvements that I've done to this vehicle. So I hope you liked that. If you did like that video, please give it the hit that thumbs up button. And thanks everyone so much for watching. Keep subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video.